So let's get started. First of all, the objectives for the talk today are really straightforward. Learn what makes a great mission statement. Discuss how to build a great mission statement, which is where we'll be spending most of our time today. I really want to dive deep by showing you some real life examples from the last business that I ran as CEO, and I think it'll give you a sense of how you might build a great mission statement for your company. We're going to review a lot of examples today. I'm going to fly through them. You'll be able to rewatch this, and I can send you the deck if you'd like. But I really want to review some great examples and some that aren't so great, just to give you a sense of what I'm seeing and what our team is seeing in the marketplace. And then lastly, we want to perform some homework as you go, developing the foundation for your mission statement on this call. Now, if you signed up through GoToWebinar, you should have received a list of questions in your GoToWebinar sign-up sheet. There was like 4 or 5 questions, and then based on those questions, you could answer 2 questions, 2 central questions, and they showed up in your GoToWebinar. Where you click to get into this presentation, you should see those questions. Follow along at home. Highly recommend you follow along. Otherwise, we're going to ask those questions at the end today. And if you're watching this online as a replay, you'll also see those questions on the replay sheet right there on the online where you're watching this video. So I highly encourage you to think about these questions as we go through and take them as we go. I want to mention that this is a large, the good mission statements get better with the Scale Passion method, and the Scale Passion method is pretty straightforward, but I wanted to take some time to overview it here just to make sure that everybody's clear that a mission statement, a good mission statement, is just a piece of a broader method to get to some great operating plans and really take your business to another level. There are really 5 truisms that make up the Scale Passion method. The first is know thy market. Second is know thyself. Third is know thy purpose. 4th is execute thy purpose, and 5th is establish a rhythm. It's worth it to go through these in some depth, because without doing steps 1 and 2, know thy market, know thyself, when you get into know thy purpose, which is really where the mission statement development happens, it's 3rd in the series, it's my contention that you will be able to create a much better mission statement if you first go through the series of know thy market and know thyself. The more you know your market, the more you know yourself, the better your mission statement. So let's cover off on these real quickly. I think it'll be worth it to lay a foundation. When we talk about know thy market, what we mean by that is knowing your customer more intimately, baking competitive intelligence gathering into your culture, knowing your competition, and then knowing your marketplace, key industry and macro trends, economic trends that affect your company's future. All these things go into knowing your market. Number 2, it's about knowing yourself, taking an honest corporate self-assessment. And what that means is going deep on what you're good at, what you're not so great at. This can be very helpful in crafting a great focused mission statement, and then ensuring key stakeholder alignment at the top. Making sure that you are aligned on the objectives long-term of the company also will make sure that your mission statement is clear, concise, and passion-driven. If you don't have key stakeholder alignment at the top, it can really muddy the water on your mission statement. And lastly, in knowing thyself, it's about ensuring change readiness. And I would just mention that a great mission statement can really, truly help you drive that change readiness when you're ready to really start to grow your business. And lastly, it's know thy purpose. This is where we create a simple, purpose-driven mission statement, which is what we're talking about today, and we craft a compelling, vivid 3-year vision. The purpose-driven mission is really about what do we do and why do we do it. The compelling, vivid 3-year vision is about where are we going, and really communicating that internally and externally. And then lastly, it's about the customer view of that, which is the value proposition. I've given a lot of speeches on all of this. I've got a course that I offer on these kinds of things. But knowing your market, and the more clear your market is, I can't emphasize this enough, the more clear you are with your target market, the easier it is to create a wonderful, passion-driven mission statement. So the last 2 points in the Scale Passion method are about executing your purpose and establishing a rhythm. We're not going to talk about that today, but I wanted you to get a context of where this mission statement development fits in the overall truisms that I believe it takes to build a great business. So those are the 5 truisms for the Scale Passion method. Lastly, I'll just mention that planning and execution are continuous in best practice companies. And as this relates to mission statements, if you think about your mission statement in a planning context, I'm a big believer in 6-month retreats for high-growth companies. So every 6 months, coming together and thinking 3 years out, revisiting your mission statement. And if this is the first time or a new revision of a mission statement, you're going to want to look at that mission statement every 6 months. And come back and revisit it. I can tell you that in the companies I've run as CEO, it's really taken us anywhere from 6 to 18 months to really nail the mission statement. We're constantly tweaking it in those first 18 months. and going through different revisions, changing a word, simplifying, creating a mantra. So give yourself permission to do that and recognize that planning is really an ongoing thing, and you want to be continuously getting a lot of feedback on your mission statement. So why do we even need to think about building a great mission statement? So let's lay the foundation on that first, all right? First, I really believe that a lot of people underestimate the importance of a mission statement. And we're going to talk about that in more detail today, what you can do with a mission statement. But in general, I think that most people think about a mission statement as just a box you check on the strategic planning process. So you hire a consultant, or you read a book and it tells you need a mission statement, and you create one, and it's typically pretty boring and bland. 90% of them out there are. So I believe that overall the importance of building a great mission statement gets minimized. Also, I think that there's because of that, you end up with a lot of mission statements that are confusing, too broad, too specific, etc. And that's the confusion versus clarity. I believe that most mission statements out there are a little confusing. They don't necessarily tell you what they do, and those that are good that tell the audience what it is you do don't do a very good job in saying why you do it, which I think is the big opportunity here to really drive some clarity behind why you are doing what you're doing as a CEO and an entrepreneur that's passionate about your business. The other one I see a lot, the other need I see a lot, is that a lot of mission statements are entrepreneurial versus professional. And I would look at this as kind of a continuum. On one end, you've got the entrepreneur mission statement, which is we're going to be all things to all people. And for small to medium-sized businesses, that can be very dangerous. Spreading yourself too thin, having a lack of focus, especially around what you're trying to articulate through your mission statement, can be dangerous. The other end of the spectrum is the professional end of the spectrum, and where I'm going with that is if your mission statement is uses too professional. If you're too professional in your speech, in the words that you use, if it's too corporate sounding, you lose that purpose-driven feel to it. You lose that emotion. So I've seen mission statements that can be way too broad, all things to all people, which is kind of the entrepreneurial mission statement, if you will, and then some that are too professional. They just feel like they were made up and that you're just kind of creating them to have a mission statement from a corporate standpoint. I think you have to strike a balance somewhere in between, and we'll talk about how to do that. And just overall, most mission statements just leave a weak impression, and we're going to talk about that in some depth. A lot of websites you can't even find the mission statement, which is significant. I think it's important to have what you do and why you do it right up front in your collateral, websites, email signatures, anything you do and any communication you lay out there. You should really be leading with your mission. So let's define mission statement. A lot of folks get confused. I've done a lot of strategic planning and strategic retreats, and there's a lot of back and forth on what is an objective, what is a tactic, what's a mission statement versus a vision. Sometimes those things get combined. I simply believe that a mission is that one thing, the one thing that defines what a company does and why it exists. And I'll make a certain distinction as we go through this webinar today. What a company does is not the same as what it offers. Let me say that one more time. What a company does is not the same as what it offers. What you offers might be your product, it might be your service. I would contend, and I'm going to show you examples on this, that some of the best mission statements don't talk at all about what the company offers. It talks more about what the company does. And what they do is very, very different than what a company offers, and we're going to get into some examples of it.